if you are doing price increases on a regular basis, revenue management, which by the way you should be, then you have to have this report. It is crucial and critical at this stage in the economic climate. We need to, the more information we know about price increases and the effect it has on customers, the better decisions we can make. Okay, so let's get into it. It's Wednesday morning. You're welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. I'm your host, Dean Booty. So I was having a conversation with some of my team last week, and they were saying, Dean, I'm a bit worried about price increases. We maybe should be capping the price increases because people haven't got the money, etc. I'm like, yeah, but we haven't got the money because look at our electrical bill. It's more than trebled. And get into that another day. What a nightmare, though. And so we need to increase prices because our costs have gone up. Everything's gone up. Our cost to developer site, our cost to the solicitor, everything's gone up. And so what we need to do is we need to, it's inflation, unfortunately. Everything goes up, and we've got a price increase structure that is basically 6, 9, 12. So for your first 6 months, you get a price increase of 12%. And then for every 9 months after that, you get an increase of 12%. And so it's called the 6, 9, 12. But and again, I'm toying with the idea of doing it more regular. I was speaking to somebody in America, and they do it between every 6 to 9 months. And he said, very rarely do I go up to 9 months to do it. I normally do it every 6 months. I'm like, oh, that'll be a big increase. So anyway, I've just kept it the way it is for now. And obviously, with the economic climate, people can't afford it, and we've got to keep that in mind. But so I'm an advocate of doing price increases. You have to do price increases. That makes a massive difference between you being an okay self-storage company and a very, very profitably and well-run self-storage company. Is the price increases. You have to do them. It's one of the biggest things that's changed my business. 1 second. You all know I love a good cup of tea. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things that has changed my business. And it was Jim Ross, by the way. It was Jim Ross when I first heard it. It was from Jim Ross. I was like, oh, that sounds good. 3 Mile Storage. He's got loads of things out there. Really, really good stuff. Really good guy as well. Being on the podcast, check him out. He's an awesome dude from America. Really, really knows his onions when it comes to self-storage. And he's just a nice guy as well, which I love. So that's where I first came across it. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got to do this. Because obviously when I first come into the industry, I've never been in the industry before, so I don't know best practices. Hopefully now I know all the best practices because I've literally been coached by the world's best in self-storage. My good friend Anne Ballard, AJ Osborne, Jim Ross, and let's not forget the amazing Dave Davies, obviously number 1 out of all them, and then not to mention all the other business coaches I get as well. But yeah, I spend an ungodly amount of money to make sure that I am the best I can possibly be with self-storage. I'm learning all the time. We're all learning, and hopefully I can document and help you guys learn. But this is what I've learned this last week. And so we had this conversation with James, and we have done this before. We've looked at what impact the price increases have on the occupancy, on the move outs, and it was very, very few. It was when we increased everybody by 20% during COVID. We thought, do you know what, we need to make the most of this. We need to maximize, we need to capitalize. And we increased everyone by 20%, which gives us a bottom line figure, an extra 14 grand a month, which was lovely, absolutely lovely. And so I was just a little bit worried about what the impact was of the price increases. Did people move out because of it? Did they not? Did they? I don't know. Well, I do know now, but I didn't know then. And so it's okay. Everyone's saying to me, Dave Davies says, well, nobody moves out, mate. Nobody fucking moves out for a price increase. Exactly how he sounds, by the way. He loves it. He loves it when I do it. Right, Dave? And I was like, well, that's great for you to tell me and you to know, but I don't know. I need to see the data myself. I need to have a look at it. And so what we did was we went through every single move out that's happened, and we wanted to know when their price increases was. And as it happens, Dave Davies was right. It doesn't really have an impact. I can't remember the exact percentage, but it was nominal. It was ridiculous. And so I was, I was like, okay, great. That's the stats say that was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it was. So let's keep doing it then. Obviously not 20%, but the 6, 9, and 12, what we normally do. And this last week I was having a conversation, and James was saying to me that I'm just a little bit worried about these price increases, Dean. Maybe we should cap them. I was like, James, the problem is if you cap them, 2 reasons. Obviously, our prices have gone up. And number 2 is that's the difference between us and capping, by the way, to like £2 per week, which is next to nothing. And he started saying that Netflix, if you increase it by £1, nobody's bothered. If you increase it by £5, people will cancel it. I'm like, yeah, I get your point. It's a really, really good point. So I started thinking about it for a little bit, and I thought, right, okay, we can't make a decision. I don't want to make a decision without data backing me up, because ultimately every decision that I make in that sort of realm has to be underlined by the data. If the data is telling me that I'm wrong, then I need to be aware of it. And yes, I need to make a decision based on the data. But it's almost like making a decision with your blindfold on. And so we need to understand what impact the price increases have on these move outs. And so we've only done it for 1 week so far, because it's all right doing it during COVID and that's it, and then you bench it and never do it again. But what happens if it's changed? What happens if circumstances change? What if the economy changes? Which they all have recently. And so we need to do it every week now. I need to know. So I've got a spreadsheet every single week with the name of some person, the size unit they're actually moving out of, the date the notice was given, and the date of the last price increase. So it's a very, very simple spreadsheet. Really simple, but I get this once a week now, and I analyze it. I go through it, and so far we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And by the way, I don't want to keep counting these every single time we do it, so I'll make sure that it's better for in a couple of weeks' time. By better, I mean that auto add for me 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So around 21 move outs last week. And of those 21, there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was only 5 people who got to the price increase stage, which is frustrating. Maybe we should give a price increases after 4 months. That could be aggressive, but it could work. I don't know. But this is the thing. The great thing about self-storage, we test. So out of those 21 or 20 or whatever it was, there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 who was giving price increases. This is just such a small sample size. The rest of people didn't actually hit the price increase point, which is frustrating. 1 second, just got a drink of tea. I know it's always good and enthralling when I have a cup of tea for you podcast listeners. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, and so only two of them have left, because it's highlighted here. So out of 5 people got price increases who have left last week, and only 2 of them have had them recently. That's not to say that it hasn't had an impact on the other 3, but it's to say that the impact might have been minimal. But you've got no way of 100% knowing. Even if you ask the customer, they'll never. By the way, we've got another spreadsheet that tells you why they're leaving as well, and not one person says it's too expensive. But they wouldn't. Nobody says that. Nobody will ever tell you it's too expensive. Oh, very, very few people. We're British, stiff upper lip. We don't want to say that. It's like when you start complaining about your food around the table. Oh, this bloody meat's tough. Blah, blah, blah. And then the waitress comes on. How's everything? Is it all right? Oh, amazing. Best food I've ever had. What? So no one's ever going to tell you that. Very, very few people. I was talking to my barber and I said to him, has anyone ever told you that it's they don't like the cut? He goes, no, never. People don't do that. I was like, exactly. So people will never ever tell you a negative. So don't expect. It's okay to ask them, but please don't read into that. Please don't expect. It's a psychology of human beings. Why would they tell you a negative? It's not what's going to happen. So out of M5, like I said, only 2 have been given a price increase. So the date the notice was given, it was given on the 18th of the 7th, one of them, and there was given a price increase 4 days earlier. Another one was given a price increase on the 13th of the 7th, and then the basically given notice a week later. Everybody else, it was 3 months difference, 3 months difference, 5 months difference. So I don't think the price increase impacted on them. So at the minute, the move outs, what we can say for last week is 40% of the people who moved out had an increase in the last month, which was huge. That is not what we saw last time. But again, it's a very, very small sample size. If it continues being like this, then obviously it's something to worry about. But even just because they had their price increase in the last month, it doesn't mean that they moved out just because of price increase. They could have been moving out as well. So it's not clear cut data, but it just gives you some idea in all the noise. It just points you in a direction and says, it could be that way. We don't know, but it could be. But that's all we've got. And that it's better making an informed decision. It's not completely informed, but it's better than nothing. Anyway, so I think you should have one of these if you're doing price increases, just to make sure that your pricing, it's okay being aggressive with your price increases, but you need to know the impact on your business. And if you don't know the impact on your business, then I believe that you should. You can do better. All right, my friends, that is it. I'm out of here. Love you. Appreciate you. Bye.